Hey everybody, David G here, founder of the Internet Marketing Party, and I'm really excited today to be bringing you a special guest all the way from Vancouver, Caleb Jennings. I was going to say he was James Dean, but Caleb, welcome. Good to have you.
Thank you, Marilyn Monroe. I really appreciate being here.
So, I'm really excited to have Caleb on this interview today because he's going to be our guest speaker at the Internet Marketing Party on Thursday, April the 10th, here in Austin, Texas. And Caleb's got a really awesome story. He's been a friend for quite a few years. And when I found out some of the things he was doing, let me just tell you this. If you're interested in building a community of over 300,000 people who are rabidly interested in your product with no marketing, no JVs, no email, no affiliates, then Caleb's somebody you want to listen to. I mean, Caleb's also a holistic biohacker. He's also a geek about the coolest things ever. In fact, right before we did this, we hit record on this interview. We matched our heart rates to the same level using heart math technology. So all kinds of cool stuff that goes way beyond marketing. And so even though this is the Internet Marketing Party, this is the first time we're going to have an interview with someone who created an audience that big with no marketing. Is that pretty cool? So Caleb, why don't you share just a little bit about, because at the party you're going to tell everybody exactly how you did that and the underlying engine that drove that level of success. But can you give folks just a little bit of maybe some of the points that allowed you to create a six-figure business a month? So you're doing over $100,000 a month on a product that started with no marketing. So.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. Whenever people hear our story more in depth with details and metrics behind it, they kind of look at us like we're just magical unicorns. And by us, my wife and I who run it. It's just amazing that people don't really see this happen very often. And coming from I have a background in internet marketing and worked with some amazing people in that realm and learned so much. And then I saw that marketing is a very powerful tool, and you could use that tool for many different things. And being more like the Jedi, more positive side of things in health and wellness is kind of the realm that we wanted to take it in to make a real positive impact in the world. And so we just figured, hey, we can use marketing to help people transform their health and transform their lives. Mm-hmm. And that was kind of what we got inspired by in the very beginning.
So inspiration.
Huge inspiration, yeah. And it was a creative outlet. This was really playing around. We were playing around in our own personal lives, and then it kind of just evolved organically, no pun intended. And as we started sharing more and more, value, more and more, recipes and just educational information, that as we learned it, people just were so magnetically attracted to it. And we'll tell more when we go to the party and stuff. But that was the start of it all. Yeah.
Well, one thing that really struck me is that for a while there, you just disappeared. I mean, you used to be at all the conferences, all the seminars, and you were like one of those attendee junkies. You were always around, and then you disappeared for a while. And you've shared with me offline that some of that had to do with the fact that the internet marketing community can sometimes attract, or often, I hate to say it, attract people that are kind of on a race to the bottom. My words, not yours. So do you want to share a little bit about what brought, what techniques or what skills, what strategies did you employ to utilize what you learned in internet marketing without being sleazy or without, doing things that
cutting corners or anything like that. Yeah, it really, for me, it came down to alignment. I grew up in martial arts and a lot of other active realms like snowboarding and acrobatics, and a recurring theme in all of those things. They seem very different. Snowboarding on a mountain, acrobatics on a trampoline or something, on the ground, and martial arts in a studio. But they all have in common a common thread of what we call alignment, right? Some people use the word integrity for it, and that alignment of factors. If you in martial arts, if you throw a punch and your arm isn't fully aligned, you can break your hand, you can break your wrist, you can break your arm. So if you need that alignment for the integrity of the structure to complete your desired outcome, whatever it may be. So in business, the same is true. And when you fall into alignment, you it's like changing tumblers in a lock. You might have one tumbler right and another one right, but if you don't have all of them right, you're gonna get a different result. But you line all those tumblers up, and it unlocks and like unleashes this flow of people who are in alignment with what value you're providing in your business or your service.
Sure.
And when you do that, it's amazing that the marketing kind of does itself almost. There's marketing aspects to it, but it's really amazing how when you just step into that flow, people really just learn to know, like, and trust you. And that's a common phrase we hear in the marketing realms. And when you back up your marketing and your value creation with products and services that truly deliver, you under promise and you over deliver. It's a very simple model to work with. But when you do that, a lot of the things that I saw people doing in the internet marketing space to cut corners and all these tactics and hacks and black hat techniques, you don't need any of those. You don't need them at all.
Yeah. I've seen it time and time again. I mean, and people that use those, they tend to not be sustainable.
It's a cat and mouse game. Yeah, Google's changing their algorithm, Facebook's changing their algorithm, and it's a constant game of figure something out, use it successfully, and they slap it. And use it successfully, slap it. That's a very stressful way to run a business, I think.
Right. Yeah. So, and you're the ripe old age of 26, so you've started this success when you were 24. So I mean, there's people out there that could only dream. And I hear one of the magic numbers as far as like marketing is like, promise people that they can make $10,000 a month. So I mean, you're 10xing that. That's pretty significant. What would you say has been your could you repeat this? Because it sounds like it was an accident, kind of, like a labor of love.
A divine accident, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not trying to take anything away from you, but from the way you described it, it's like you just fell into it, and you were
totally.
there was alignment, but you fell into it. Do you think you could repeat this?
Oh, I'm totally confident. In fact, I'm doing that with another business we're working on behind the scenes right now. So
yeah, and then I hear
it's
you
very
have,
replicable.
You have an app that went to the top.
Yeah, we launched an app. It was very successful in the first launch, and that deal is really fascinating because I was mostly hands off in that. My wife managed getting the photography for it, and the team that we partnered with, who's actually a wonderful guy named Abel James, who lives here in Austin.
Yeah,
has a wonderful podcast called Fat Burning Man Podcast. A little plug for him. And they just approached us and said, "Hey, you guys are doing really cool stuff, and we want to do an app, and let's see if we can work together." And it was amazing because I was just on the emails and gave some information where needed, but I mean, they took care of it all. And we've been wanting to do an app and never really had the chance to, and hadn't focused on it. And then it all just, once again, it kind of just all came together. So I use the word synchronicity for that alignment factor there.
Sure.
And it was very successful, and raving testimonials. So that's feedback to us that people were resonating with it.
Cool. So we want to always like to make sure that people walk away from this video with something actionable that they can take. And I don't want to just tease people and say, hey, here's a guy who built 300,000 member community with no marketing, no lists, no JVs, how did you do that? And what are you going to share with people at the party next a couple of Thursdays from now?
Yeah, I mean, we really focused on the underlying value, and it was one of those things where we wanted people to absolutely transform their health, and that was what we focused on, was the desired outcome and the desired end result of what our products or services would lead to eventually, right? So in the make money spaces, it's you're teaching people how to make more money, and if people make more money, then they tend to follow you for a long time because you help change their life in that way. Whatever business you're in, you're serving real people who have real needs. And we just shifted gears, and instead of focusing on the numbers and the metrics, we like to focus on the actual feelings of people and the actual outcomes that people were getting or not getting, and making adjustments from there. So that was a big underlying aspect of how we were driving things, and one kind of tactic or technique that we used, which will be really fun to take away you can use for this, is I'm a huge geek for neuroscience and human behavior. And habit formation and habit eradication are two very fascinating realms I study. And so I was talking to my wife in bed one time when we were in Mexico, living there at the time, and we were just thinking about what's the one simple thing that we could do to give people a greatest boost in their health, right, that is mostly accessible wherever they were. And we we're thinking about it and we came up with the idea of green smoothies, which is nothing new. Green smoothies have been around for a long time. But the other thing about habit formation is there's this fascinating aspect of the challenge dynamic, right? Called the challenge framework, if you will. And I don't know about you, but whenever someone puts me up to a challenge, I kind of like, oh yeah, I can do that. I bet you can't, bank that 8-ball in the corner pocket. Oh, I can, right? It gets people really engaged.
Right.
It engages a different part of the brain than just the logical. Yeah, competition, winning, gaming kind of gamifies it. Yeah, so we used that kind of challenge framework, and we just used at the time our thing for green smoothies, and we just made it extremely simple for people to do. And it was like, if you could just do one thing without changing anything else in your life, what would it be?
Right.
And so we built this framework, and we created a 30-day autoresponder sequence. We gave a recipe a day every day for 30 days, some fun food facts, and a little bit of motivation, and some kind of little personal development slipped in there. And then we just, put up an opt-in page, and we just put it out there and said, hey, check this out. Just do it. It's free. It was just, it intentionally, it wasn't a lead gen strategy to begin with, and then it turned out to be one of our best lead gen strategies over the years. And
that's the part where I was saying you think you could replicate it.
Totally. And we have, because once we figured that out, we applied it in other realms, and it keeps working, right? So almost any business or service out there can identify something, like you were mentioning Code Academy earlier, and they have like a coding challenge, right? It's amazing. So if we can just leverage how our brains evolved over time and how our behaviors work in this world, you can provide a lot of value, as well as build in that know, like, and trust dynamic with people, and then eventually they'll buy your products and happily buy your products and come back to buy more.
Right.
So with the Green Smoothie Challenge we did, the first one we did, we had about 8,000 people sign up in about a week's time. So 8,000 people opting with name and email in about 7 days. That was the first one. And so we're like, wait, people really like this, so it's really cool. And we ran the 30-day challenge, and they're like, hey, everybody kept asking us to do this again. And so we're like, okay, well, let's do another one. And so we took what we learned from that first challenge and just once again applied it to the next challenge to replicate what we were doing. And that one was a little bit better. It did a little bit better for us. We managed to pull in about 20,000 or so opt-ins in less than 10 days.
So you more than doubled.
Challenge. More than doubled, yeah. And we put them all in a private Facebook community, and we've got a little over 30-ish thousand people in there now from just those two challenges. And
what was one of the tweaks you made between the first iteration and the second one?
That's a good question. That one, what we did when we first did the Green Smoothie Challenge, we just put it out there, and the incentive was to transform your health, and doing it very simply without doing anything crazy or expensive or anything. So this next time, what I personally believe increased the conversions even more and increased the viral sharing ability was that we incentivized it. Us humans, we love incentivization, the right kinds. And so what we did is we partnered with really well-known brand companies in the health space, such as Vitamix blenders. They make really high-end blenders. Blendtec is another, it's kind of their competitor. Vega, right, who does a lot of plant-based proteins and some really great endurance sports kind of supplements and things like that. And so we partnered with these amazing people, these companies, to provide their products to our challenge for people to win. So you could win, a $700 blender.
It's a win-win because they get the free advertising. Pretty cool, man. Yeah,
that was great, and that was a wonderful thing. And we still run them on occasion. We're doing some new stuff now, but the challenge dynamic is really powerful to work with. If you can identify a way, and if it's weight loss that you're in, you can have a challenge to lose a certain amount of weight in a certain amount of time. If it's local marketing, you can have a local marketing challenge of some sort. I mean, there's so many different ways you can play around with it, and the key to it is to align the challenge and what will happen if they do the challenge and actively do it. Align the desired outcome with what they're already looking for. Like, are people looking to be healthy?
Have it be disjointed, or it's just some random challenge.
Don't just say, hey, I'm going to give away an iPad, and I challenge you to do 5 jumping jacks a day, and
cool.
It's the alignment factor.
And if you're watching this at home and you're not intuitively, just naturally creative, just reach out to somebody that that is creative, because that's a skill set not everyone has, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And so
it's brainstorm. Yeah.
Yeah. So what are some of the things you're going to talk about at the party? Like, I mean, let's get people, because I'm sure people right now are watching and you're going, Wow, this is awesome. What are, just at a high level, just at, kind of big broad brushstrokes?
Yeah. I mean, well, if you're watching this right now, what you're going to learn essentially is how to build a business that you can fall asleep at night very comfortably with, that generates, wonderful revenue, and at the same time makes a really positive, measurable impact in the world. And I'll go deeper into that. But it's you break that one down. Positive, it's good in the world. Measurable, you can measure it. You can see numbers about it. It's proof. You can show it to other people. And the impact aspect, which is, it makes an emotional impact in people's lives and improves the lives of others. That's, why most of us are in the business to begin with, is to make the world a better place, make profit from that and live a wonderful lifestyle, healthy lifestyle, spend time with our family, whatever we are into, right? And so doing that, there's some wonderful strategies that we just discovered along the way. A lot of them just accidentally, just from moving forward and just going along with the flow. And from those, we've then successfully coached some friends and some people doing their own awesome things, and it's been replicated across each domain. So it's something that everyone can really use and apply in their own business if they choose.
Awesome. And I guess the one last thing that I wanted to ask you about was, your EPCs. I guess you wouldn't call it EPCs, but I remember the first time we talked about the results you've been getting was just off the charts. You want to share a little bit about that?
Yeah, so that's a funny thing when when we say we built a 6-figure per month business without email marketing, without joint ventures or affiliates or anything else. We really did it only through Facebook. It's really the main source. We built the whole business on Facebook. And so we just started doing email marketing, after that first year we started those programs. We just started email marketing back in like October, November. We just started
a few months ago.
And we had an email list of over, it was a 6-figure email list. We had a lot of people, but we never talked to them. So me coming from the world of internet marketing and email marketing, I was like, that's a bad no-no. But yeah, we put out some value to them and offered them some value of what they were really interested in, reactivated the list, and now they're really responsive to the point where, we were launching a new product and we didn't have the VSL done. We didn't have the sales page done.
You don't have a funnel.
We don't have a funnel. Yeah, there's
so
no funnel.
You did all this with no funnel.
No
and
funnel.
You're talking about like a $40 price point, right?
$44, yeah. $44. Other one's $39. So we just did high volume, low cost, high volume.
Yeah. So, and you sent out your first email?
Yeah, we sent out some of our first emails, just warming people up. And then when we put out an offer email, I'll give credit to the gentleman who shared it in a mastermind group that inspired me to do this. I'll share his name. He's a great guy. And I just looked at my wife. I was like, hey, we should try this. We don't have the VSL done. We don't have the sales page done, but the product is all ready to go.
Sure.
And we could just create a PayPal link and put it out there. So the idea was essentially to put a mini sales pitch inside of an email, a mini sales page in there, and put a link just directly to buy. And the kind of hook and preface of it was, this was targeted at the people who love us so much they'll buy anything we put out there because they've already experienced results. They've lost weight, they've reversed certain disorders, or they've really managed their symptoms and things through the power of real food. And so they love what we put out. And we just basically said, if you don't want to deal with the video presentation, if you don't need to be sold on this, you can just click this link and buy right now and get instant access. And that email, so we sent that out to a small portion of our list, and MailChimp actually glitched out that day. So it broke the email. It was a broken email sent out to a subset of our list, and we still pulled in a $9 EPC with that email. So it worked out pretty well. And then we've done it multiple times since then. And each time it's pulling in, really high EPCs. So people seem to really appreciate it.
Very, very cool. Well, if you're interested in learning more about that kind of thing, and I do want to say, I don't feel like I did this justice, but I mentioned it, but Caleb's, at the end of the day, definitely not an internet marketer. He's someone who builds amazing products, that cares about what he's selling and cares about the people he's selling them to. And it just so happens that there's some marketing involved. But a distinction that I had made recently was when the product is really, really good. If I told you I had 5,000 iPhone 6s, I'm assuming you're watching this before the iPhone 6s come out, how much marketing would I have to do other than just tell you, hey, I have them, come over and get them? Yeah. And so I want to just say that I kind of, as we've been talking, prepping for this, the thought that keeps coming to my mind is Zappos. You're like the Zappos of your industry. So,
yeah, I love that.
And
model.
It's all about giving and caring and really, you know, I've noticed that marketing seems to be like a big pendulum shift. Little tip of the hat to Michael Drew there, but it seems like marketing is just in some ways a matter of doing what's going to break people out of their everyday trance. So whatever people aren't used to, and in this day and age, so many people aren't used to being cared for. They're used to being tricked, lied, cheated,
bait and switched,
that kind of thing, or over-promised, under-delivered. And it seems like you're doing quite the opposite of that. And I know a few other people. So this is becoming the trend, and it's so awesome. And I'm just thrilled to have you on our stage. Even more than the tactics, the cool techniques, the cool strategies, is what you stand for, what your products stand for, and how you got here. So just really, I want to acknowledge you for sticking around. You had only come down for about a week or something for a mastermind, and I was like, dude, we want to speak at the party, and he rearranged some things. So thank you for doing that.
Thank you for having me.
If you're watching this, make it a point to come out and see Caleb and the rest of the people here at the Internet Marketing Party, Thursday, April the 10th, here in Austin, Texas. And any final words before we say goodbye to Internet?
Saying goodbye to you who's watching on the other end.
See, I run the Internet Marketing Party. He's referring to you as a real person.
Because there is. If you're watching this right now, you're a real person. You've got blood coursing through your veins. You're breathing oxygen just like we are. And you have feelings, and you have likes and dislikes, and you have things that really bring you joy and things that sometimes stress you out. So I just really have to say, realize that just like I'm talking to you right now, you are speaking to other people, real people on the other end of your marketing. And whether it's email, whether it's Facebook, whether it's media buying, it doesn't matter. They're all real people, and they all have real needs and real desires. And if your product or service successfully helps them achieve those, and it's in their mind, and you line those things up, and people will love you for a long time. They'll stick around. They'll follow you. You'll build your tribe, and you can profit off that while still being a sustainable business and really just living an awesome life and feeling really good about what you do and not having to keep up with all the latest hacks and tactics and tricks. You can really just focus on the value, which is a lot more fun, and that will take care of growing the rest of your business and scaling it up.
Couldn't have said it better myself. Thanks a lot, Caleb.
Thank you.
Look forward to seeing you and very soon. So
I'll see you April 10th.
Yeah.
There's April 10th.
See you then. Go to internetmarketingparty.com/Austin to get yourself registered if you're a member, or to get yourself a ticket. See you there.